This is going to be a story like no other. If you think you've heard it all, trust me, this one's going to shock you. I'm about to tell you about the day I found out the truth about my wife, when the police knocked on our door. It was the moment that changed everything. I'm going to be honest with you, this story isn't easy to tell. It's something I never thought would happen in my own life. But it's important to share, because maybe there's someone out there who's going through something similar, or maybe this will help you spot the signs before it's too late. So let's rewind to about 6 months ago. Everything seemed normal. I had been married to Sarah for 4 years, and we had a pretty solid life together. We didn't have any major issues, we both had good jobs, a nice home, and we were planning for the future. I thought things were perfect. But boy, was I wrong. At first, the signs were small. Nothing major. She started spending more time on her phone. I'd catch her texting a lot, but she'd always be super secretive about it. Now, I know what you're thinking, okay, maybe that's just how people are now, especially with work and everything. And I told myself the same thing. But then things started to get weird. She'd leave the house more often. Sometimes she'd go out for girls' night, but I noticed she'd never really talk about who she was with. It was always vague. I didn't want to jump to conclusions. You know, trust is everything in a marriage, right? But deep down, something felt off. Then, one evening, the weirdest thing happened. It was about 8 p.m., and I was just getting ready to relax. Sarah had gone out again, and I was planning to have a quiet evening. Then, suddenly, there was a loud knock at the door. When I opened it, I saw 2 police officers standing there. I thought maybe there was some mistake, maybe they were at the wrong house. But they looked at me and said, "We need to speak with Sarah." Now, I'm completely confused. I asked them what this was about, and they said they had some questions related to an investigation. At this point, I had no idea what was going on. I told them Sarah wasn't home, but I was freaking out inside. One of the officers asked if Sarah was involved in any activities recently that might have seemed suspicious. I said no, at least, not that I knew of. Then, the officer dropped the bombshell. He said Sarah had been spotted with another man multiple times, and that they were investigating her for something serious. Now, I'm standing there, trying to process what they just said. My heart was racing. What are they talking about? Why would Sarah be involved with someone else? They didn't say much more, except that I should expect to hear from them again soon. They left without much else, and I was left standing there, completely speechless. After they left, I felt like the world was crumbling around me. I didn't want to believe it. Sarah had never given me any reason to think she'd cheat, but why were the police involved? Why were they looking into her? I called my best friend, Mark, right away. I needed someone to talk to. I told him everything: the knock on the door, the police, and the accusations. Mark said it didn't sound good, but he didn't want me to jump to conclusions without hearing more. So, I waited. But let me tell you, waiting was the hardest part. A few days went by, and I still didn't hear from Sarah. Normally, she would check in or text me, but nothing. I tried calling her, but she wouldn't pick up. I was getting more anxious by the minute. Finally, when she came home late one night, I confronted her. I asked her straight up, "What's going on? Why did the police come by? Are you seeing someone else?" She froze. At first, she didn't say anything. But then, she admitted it. She told me she had been seeing another man. The worst part? She had been seeing him for almost 6 months, right under my nose. I couldn't believe it. All those little things that I'd brushed off, the late nights, the secretive behavior, it all made sense now. She'd been lying to me for months, living a double life. The man she was seeing wasn't just anyone, he was someone from work. She had been meeting him during those girls' nights and pretending everything was fine. I felt completely betrayed. But it didn't end there. Sarah confessed something else, that the police were investigating her because she had been involved in a fraud scheme at her company. Apparently, she and the other man were using company funds to cover up personal debts and transactions. That's why the police were involved. It was more than just an affair. It was criminal. And I had no idea. I was married to someone I thought I knew, but I didn't know her at all. The police weren't just questioning her about cheating, they were investigating her for financial fraud and illegal activities. So, after everything came out, I had to make a choice. Do I stay and try to fix things, or do I walk away from a relationship that was built on lies? I couldn't trust her anymore. The trust was completely gone. Now, I'm sharing this with you because I want you to understand how easy it is for someone to hide a secret life. Whether it's cheating, financial issues, or something worse, you might not always see the signs. I ignored the red flags. I didn't want to believe my wife could do something like this. If you're in a relationship, trust your instincts. Don't ignore those little doubts, those small signs. And if you ever find yourself in a similar situation, don't be afraid to confront the truth even if it hurts. Thanks for listening to my story. I know it wasn't easy to hear, but I hope it helps someone out there. If you've been through something like this or have any advice to share, drop a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video.